Hello, 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 you sexy lady. It's the Lady Secrets Collection, brought to you by LadyGang. This week's theme is sex. Have you ever had an orgy gone wrong? Have you sent a sexual picture to the wrong person, aka your boss? A messy encounter? We want you to cleanse your soul, and there's two ways you can submit your sexy lady. I keep saying sexy secrets, but I mean lady secrets. You can either go to theladysecrets.com. There's a form there. It's completely anonymous. We don't even take your email address. Or you can call 1-844-SEXY-LADY. That's 1-844-SEXY-LADY and leave us a voicemail. We're so excited. And remember, no one will ever know it was you.
Welcome to the Lady Gang. You're about to listen to our podcast, but there is so much more our community has to offer. Follow us at the Lady Gang, join our secret Facebook group, shop our clothing line, books, and find out when we're going to be in your city at theladygang.com. We're so excited you're here. Enjoy the show.
It's time for a Quickie.
Podcast One presents The Lady Gang, the Hollywood Girl Posse, with Lady Gang Quickie. Here's Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Let's make this quick.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang. I am Becca here with Jack and Kelty and a very special guest that when her face popped up on the screen, I got a little starstruck. I'm not used to seeing her like in real time. I'm used to watching her and her hot body work it on Obey. Kelty, who do we have?
Okay. Well, if you watch our Instagrams that you know, personally for me, May was a fucking wash. Like never been the worst fitness person of all time. I think I worked out like 6 times the whole month, which is like not my regular. Year of hot is at an all-time low, going to be honest, but it happens. And in order to get us, namely me, back inspired, ready to get ready for summer and get like a little bit of that motivation that did not happen in May into our June, we have brought our favorite instructor from Obey Fitness to talk about body, health, consistency, goals, loving our body.
We are very obsessed with Marcia Marmar is what she calls herself during a workout. And let me just say, I used to think Pilates was easy. And you are the first person who I've taken a Pilates class from, not even on a reformer. This is on Obey. It's on the mat. And it's like a cool 28 minutes. I am dying. My ass is on fire when I am in your class, and you just keep it. I mean, like your infectious energy helps me, but it still hurts like a mother.
Well, the truth is it's us and gravity. So, gravity is like the prop of all props,
Yeah.
And so, we're in there, we're doing our thing, we're working out, but it's just important to pay attention to those details, the alignment, the form, all that stuff, because that's what makes it Pilates. Otherwise, we're kind of rolling through things, we're moving, we're grooving, and it's like, oop, is this aerobics? What happened? And it's like, once you get really centered and you get grounded in the technique, it's like, yo, this was hard. Wow. And it's, we get better, we get stronger, and then it gets harder and harder because we get better, we get stronger. So it's like the gift that keeps giving. I love it. And I love teaching it.
And I think there's been this really cool moment over quarantine, like even in watching Jack, like Jack was someone who's like, I don't really work out. And then over quarantine, like you had more time and you wanted something to do. So even like Jack is like, I'm doing my yogas now. I'm doing my workouts. I'm doing my sculpts. Like it's an interesting thing.
Well, I took your class this morning, by the way, your latest class.
Yes.
It kicked my ass. I was like, I didn't think that we're starting with 15 minutes of abs straight, but here we are. And I'm doing like a little ball roll.
Yes.
But I love it. But I was going to ask, as somebody that sucks at Pilates, I've taken one Pilates class with the reformer before, and that's basically my Pilates knowledge. What is your number one piece of advice for somebody that's like trying to get into it? Because any new workout is really intimidating.
Well, it can really be intimidating. And that's what sucks about working out is like the gyms and all the studios, they make it intimidating. And it's like, what's so great about being online, first of all, is that online on your own time, in your own space, live your life. So it's like, you're making mistakes, you're doing your thing. It is what it is. Don't sweat the small stuff. But, just to keep showing up, it's like Pilates is a practice. I always say it gets better with practice. So to show up and to think, oh, I'm about to kill it on day one. No. And that's okay. I remember the first time I took an indoor cycling class. Once upon a time, I was a cycling instructor and being like, if somebody doesn't get me off this bike, I might die. But I told myself, I'm going to keep showing up. And that is like the Obey mantra. It's like, just keep showing up. And so you show up to your mat and you get better with the practice. You understand the vocabulary. You know how to hit them and get them. And before you know it, you're like, oh, excuse me, dear diary, are those my abs looking back at me? And of course they're like, yo, for sure, that's me, but it's like, it's what happens when you just keep showing up, you keep applying yourself. It can be intimidating, yes, but you have to get over that part. You have to literally just look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I'm going to do the best I can today. And if it means going straight through until the end of one song and then taking you a little water break, then keep calm and do it. And, if you need you do what you have to do, make your modifications, but just keep showing up. That's it.
I always think about John Legend because, he's an EGOT and he has like 100 Emmys and Grammys and whatever. And then once I was like also in a cycling class with him and like Honey could not get the footwork to the beat. And I was like, and you're John Legend, you're a fucking EGOT. Like if anyone should be able to be like 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2 and a 1 and a 2, it's you, John. And I was like, listen, everyone's staring at him. He went in the front row. I don't know why he did that, but it's like, I love what you said. Like, it's just kind of show up. Who cares? Nobody cares. I mean, no one's judging you unless you're John Legend. So you're fine.
And it's like side eye. Well, what's going on with his leg? I thought you had
Does he have a beard? And you grew up as a dancer and still dance. And so like, what was your relationship with your body as young to youth to now, and how has it changed?
So it's crazy because in the dance world, you are looking in the mirror every freaking day and you are almost conditioned to pick yourself apart because it's like, honey, if it's not right, if it's not tight, it's not right. If it's not lifted, it's wrong. Like, it's not even a joke. And I grew up school of the hard knocks, so it was very, very strict. And I would look at myself every day, but I also had 6 brothers. And so it's like, while they're conditioning us, oh, you're a princess, you're this, you're that, my brothers kept it very real with me. And I would go home and, not that I didn't feel like a princess, but I didn't feel like that level, darling. So to be able to look at myself in the mirror and just make peace with what's there and know that I have the power to make it better, that helps. Also, the discipline of dance. They don't care how you feel. They're like, if you are not dying or bleeding, you better show up and you better show out. So it's like you'd have these moments in the wings where your emotions might come over you or whatever it is. And you'd have to, listen, blot that little eye right quick and show up on stage or show up even in the studio or whatever it was. You have to show up. So that type of upbringing, it conditions you. It conditions you. So it's like when I experience pain in my body, it's from not moving. And that is the ultimate wake-up call, like Mar. When you're moving, you're good. Just keep on moving. And when you're not moving, that's when the body takes control of you. That's when gravity, honey, wins the battle. And nobody has time for that. So it's just like dance woke me up to that. It keeps me present to that. Like every time I show up, to move your body in so many different directions, it's important, because in life we're walking. You drop a pen. Okay, maybe I'm gonna bend over and pick it up. It depends if it's a cute pen. If it's not a cute pen, I'm gonna leave it where it is and keep it moving. You know what I mean? Maybe you're gonna reach for the remote, but that's about it. So exercise is so important to just kind of increase our range of motion, to get comfortable being uncomfortable and to build that strength. It started with dance and it travels into all facets of my life. So I'm very grateful for that upbringing.
To be honest, I get a little welty, a little teary, hearing you speak, first of all, because your class is like everything you always say. It's like, you're kind of like in the soul journey with like, I'm feeling it and I'm hurting and like, everything is hurting and shaking, but like, I'm also feeling this like emotion when you're teaching. And I was just thinking about like the last month that I've had. And it's interesting what you said about you just got to like keep moving and you're better if you're moving, because I really believe that. Like it really just resonated with me. And it's a weird like mental block that I think we do to ourselves sometimes, or at least I've done to myself this year or in the last month, is like, I know what's best for me. I know I'm happy when I eat healthy, when I do my workout, even if it's just a 10-minute little express on Obey or whatever it is, or go for a run or a walk. I know when I treat my body right, that it will trickle down into every area of my brain, myself, my love, like my relationships. And then at the same time, I can completely allow myself to get the fuck off the track. Like, I don't know what that is about being a human, where it's like, I know you're right. I'm better when I'm moving, but like, sometimes I just fall so fucking far away from that it seems like impossible to get back on.
You know what that is? That's called distractions, girl. We have that in Target. You walk into Target with no list, what happens? Distracted. Now all of a sudden you got a workout outfit, you got a loaf of bread, you got fabric softener and a TV, and you're like, what the heck? I have all of this at home. What's going on? It's called distractions. The world is so full of them. We are bombarded by distractions every single day, every minute of every day. Now that we have, the social networks, it's like you look down, it's like, oop, distracted. And so for me, it gets really real when you write it down. I remember working with a life coach. Marmar wasn't always happy Marmar, happy peppy. There's moments in my life too where it's like, oh snap, dear diary, bring me back to the light. So I was in a dark bout and I reached out to a life coach and she said, Marcy, why don't we write down all the things that bring you joy? And it was a short list, because, it doesn't take long to a whole lot of stuff to pep me up. Mm-hmm. So, but a lot of it was grounded in moving. It was like, girl, show up to your yoga, show up to your Pilates, show up to your dance classes, stroll through Whole Foods, grab that kale, eat those granola bars, live your life, get with your friends, key on the sidelines, make sure you're rounding out your life so it makes sense for you. And when I looked at the list, I was like, oh snap, I'm not doing and it's almost like your phone is like it's dying and you're like, oh snap, I need a charger. I need a plug. I need all the above. And you figure out where is the next best place for you to charge up. And you're like, even if it's in the middle of the week and you're like, you know what, let me pull up that schedule and see what they're offering at 10 o'clock because I have a window. And then you plug back in and you're like, oop, 20%, ow, okay. And you stay on for maybe another 10-minute stretch. Oop, now we have 30%. Boop, you sign off, you call your homies. You're like, hey, girl, hey, I'm feeling fabulous. Let's meet up later. Let's talk about this. Ugh. 50%. And before you know it, you're back to feeling 100. And your body or your brain has a little click where it's like, oh, I know what I did to get here. I know I have to keep doing those things because those things are resonating with me. So, girl, I say write it down, let it get real. And even if you have to stick it to your, to this day, I keep lists on little stickums. I make sure that they're bright and fun because that makes me want to look at them. I'm not going to look at a stickum that's just plain white or just plain whatever. Honey, she needs the fluorescent colors, darling, and she needs blue ink so that it pops, darling. And then when I look at that, I'm reminded of what the heck I'm doing this, and I do it week by week, guys. There's planners in my phone, and I'm like, that does not apply to me. When I get home, I take out my little anthropology journal, okay? I got my little stickums on deck, and that's when it makes sense for me. But it's just like getting a hold of what keeps you focused. Boom. That's it.
Wow. I love that phone charger thing. It's really I'm going to never stop thinking about that. It's so real because it is. It's like getting back on track and it's baby steps because it is so overwhelming. Like all the women in my life, I feel like at one point or another, they hit that point where they've forgotten about taking care of themselves. And suddenly they want to throw themselves into a certain type of diet and exercising X amount of times a week. Yeah. And it's like climbing Everest when really all you need to do is take those little baby steps and eventually you'll get to Everest. But it's like the moderation thing.
And it's kind of like a snowball. Like you can snowball your way out of it, but then you can also snowball your way back into it in a way that makes sense by doing these small things. Cause that was always my biggest thing. When I was younger, I was very extreme with like my dieting and with my working out. And I was either working out 3 hours a day or none. And trying to get back into a situation when you've fallen so far out of it, it's so intimidating. But I was going to say, like, even with Obey, that's why like a 10-minute class is so nice because it's like
snack bite goes a long way.
Yeah.
That little and think about it in terms of snacks. Like you're starving and you're like, I'm not going to make it through this Whole Foods. I'm not going to make it to the line unless I bust open these chips. And then it's like, okay, I feel better just by having a little snack. And that's what those 10-minute workouts are, whether you're stretching, whether you're doing a 10-minute hit, whether you're doing a 5-minute meditation, you're showing up, you're getting something done. And it's not just for your brain, it's for your body. And then all of a sudden that adrenaline starts running, the feel good, stuff starts oozing out of you. And your body recognizes that. And it's like, ooh, this is it, honey. Let's come back and do this again tomorrow. Even if it's 10 minutes, it does count. And it's hard. It's hard. I know it's hard with juggling, children, spouses, partners, jobs, promotions, work from home, work from the office, hybrid, oh snap. But it's just like to take the time for you is, and like you said, it's just like every week it may change. Every day it may change. Every season it may change. But being real with who you are right now and what it is that you can offer, like you can't go ham 5 days a week. I call my friends and we talk, Mama, how can I do? I'm like, 5 days is not for you. I said, maybe it's just one day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one day a week and you get really real about that one day and you show up. And then the next week it's the same and it's the same. And after a while, that one day can easily turn into 2 because you've built it into your schedule. You've made it work. It's settled and it's working, you know?
Yeah. First of all, I love this. Has there been, you kind of, when you're doing these classes, what I like about them is that you're having this conversation with, I mean, you're in the box and you're having this conversation with these people you can't see, but we're at home and we're like, yeah, we're like talking back to you. Yeah. Has there been like a moment when you're in the box and you're teaching that you kind of do these life lessons sort of vibe when you're teaching? Has there been something that you think was the one, like your Oprah moment that has resonated so much, that's so much feedback? You got so much feedback at it? Or is it everything you do?
I feel, I don't want to say everything I do, but it's like the messages I get from just so many of the stories I've shared. Some of them, it's like I'm constantly taping and people are constantly taking. So sometimes I'm like completely disconnected with, wait, when did that? Oh my God, I said that? Oh my God, wow. And it's like, it's crazy to think like I didn't know what was coming out of my mouth, but I know exactly what's happening and I know exactly what I'm saying and what I'm speaking to in that very moment. Because it's 9 times out of 10, it's a challenging moment. And it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, you can break down if you choose, but remember you have a choice and it doesn't have to be a break. You can use this to break through, you know, and just, I mean, use the material here, use the burn to just keep going. You know what I mean? So I don't know off top any one specific, but I'm just happy that people are listening and people are getting, it's like the get you gotcha. It's like when you're listening and you're watching and you throw your head back and it's like you're laughing your head off, but the truth slips in. And that's the little drug that I'm purposely delivering so that it's the high stays with you a little bit longer. That's the goal. It's like you want to feel good about showing up, not just for me, but for yourself. And if you can't, sometimes if you're like, I can't show up for myself, you're like, Marmar's going to be happy that I was there. And that's just enough to bring you back.
I just had a really good idea for Obey, a new class.
Ooh, let's talk.
I think we need a pep talk by Marmar. I think it's the thing you do when you can't even bring yourself to do the 10-minute. But if you check in for 2 minutes for a pep talk, then by the end of the pep talk, you're ready for the class.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned, girl. Stay tuned.
Is it coming?
Oh.
I got to be honest. The other day I was like,
but stay tuned.
I love this. I love this.
The other day I was in like such a disarray that I was like, I can't do anything but like the 4-minute meditation. And I just sat outside and looked at the sky and I was like, this is all I'm doing today. Like I will not sweat, but I will breathe. And like, this is all I'm asking of myself. Like give myself a fucking break.
Yeah.
And I think like, you know, the hardest thing is the accountability, like the track, like you're saying, if you can't show up for yourself, like show up for you or know that. So what are your tips for accountability? Because that is the thing that I think we all struggle with. I know in the app for Obey anyway, you can, and I think a lot of the fitness apps are the same. Like it shows what classes you took and there's like different charts and whatever, but like, fine. But if you don't do the class, you don't get the fucking gold star. So like I'm talking about mind accountability. Like I already have a bujo that I'm not crossing out the days in.
For me, I feel like it's the buddy system. It's a hybrid between the buddy system and routine. Routine is a thing that you just make your thing, you know, like you write it down. It is your schedule. It is non-negotiable. It's like you wake up, I wake up, I'm going to pee, I'm going to wash my hands, I'm going to take care of my dog, I'm going to brush my teeth, I'm going to wash my face. Nothing about that is ever going to change day to day. And so as long as you book it into your life as a routine, then honey, it happens. Thing number 2, the buddy system. Here's how it gets real cute. Again, you're not always going to want to show up. Let me tell you, the rain is raining and it's like, child, I don't want to go out there, but you have to. So you get with a buddy, or even if it's a tech, hey girl, I'm signing into this class. Are you going to be there? You know, or hey, I did X, Y, and Z this week. How about you? And maybe it's not a day by day, but it's a week by week where you check in. It's important that you check in with each other and you get real with each other. And you say, you know what? This happened, that happened, that happened, this happened. And it's like, Obey has created such an amazing community where people are checking in.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty freaking gangster. Like the first time I taught, it's about to be my Obey anniversary, you guys. So it's like 1 year later, my very first class I taught, I'm seeing all these names. I don't know who any of these people are. I'm like, yeah. But at the same time, I know that they're real people.
Mm-hmm.
And then to find out that they've already made friendships that are like, honey, 2-3 years in, that they're so committed to one another, that they're, doing Zoom birthday parties together. I mean, the thing is so cute. They're meeting they're realizing, oh my God, you live in Minnesota? I do too. Are you by such and such park? OMG, let's work out together in the park. It's crazy. But to have a buddy system, to have, and it doesn't have to be a whole big, me and my squad, party of 15. But what if it's just one person that you just show up to? We call them besties.
Cute.
It's so beyond cute because, life gets in the way and life will get real on you. But, when your old bestie's like, hey girl, hey, what's going on? I heard your name is such and such. You go, girl. It's a really uplifting feeling that, it's like that little drug that just that made me feel good. The glow inside came out and I was like, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make sure I keep showing up.
I love that. When we come back, we have a Facebook story and we also are going to get a little more pep talking from Mar.
I'm here for it.
Obey Fitness is our family. They're our friends, and we love this app. Obey Fitness is a streaming app offered daily, and they have live classes and more than 6,000 on-demand classes, including sculpt, strength, HIIT, yoga, Pilates, bar, meditation, and my favorite class, the power classes. Obey not only delivers the variety of fitness content that you crave, but also the results you want to see. And if you're like me and you easily become not motivated to work out, just like going in and seeing Walter or one of my favorite instructors every day, I feel like it's an emotional boost as well as a physical boost. Start your trial today at obeyfitness.com and use our code LadyGang and you're going to get 1 month free. Can you believe it? A free month. And you can also join the Sculpt, Burn, Repeat plan, which is a 28-day program that features low impact but super highly effective sculpt, bar, yoga, sculpt, and Pilates classes. It's designed by Obey's world-class trainers to progressively build your muscular endurance and strength day by day while improving your flexibility and balance. We love Obey Fitness. Go use code LadyGang at obeyfitness.com for a month free.
Looking for a killer entertainment deal? What's better than free TV? Pluto TV is the home for true crime lovers. Watch 24/7 channels of unsolved mysteries, cold case files, forensic files, and CSI, plus thousands of criminally good movies, TV shows, and documentaries, all for free. No signups, no fees, no contracts ever. Download the free Pluto TV app on any device.
The Lady Gang.
I do want to ask you, being a Black woman in fitness, we all grew up on the Jane Fonda of it and the Christy Brinkley in a thong and a spandex. What has it meant to you and how do you think things are changing?
Well, I mean, you talk about being Black in America and it's like the same story. But what I did personally is I just flipped it. It's like maybe instead of focusing on, oh my God, where are the opportunities, what if it's now, okay, I can use this as a power to influence and inspire other Black people to show up. Now you're seeing a Black woman in not just fitness, but in Pilates, another, branch that was like, girl, y'all don't know if you're supposed to be here, but I'm here. So what's going on? Yes, all bodies are welcome. And then it's just like, to then see a Black woman in fitness or, in Pilates or doing it, it doesn't just stop at more Black people showing up, but now it's like, oh wow, more people are just starting to see the accessibility and the welcoming of it all. Like, wait, we could belong here too. So I pretty much flipped it. It's not, I was very lucky growing up in ballet. I grew up in a predominantly Black ballet school called Dance Theater of Harlem.
No big deal. By the way, it's like the biggest of all time, but okay.
It's a pretty cute experience. But what made it great is that I was always surrounded by Black ballerinas so I could see myself in them. Like I always knew as a little girl, I could be that because I could see that, So it's like representation does matter. It matters a lot. And to be able to see yourself in something, actually doing it, that is a game changer, And so it's like I received like this message probably took me to my knees, where it was a girl who said, I didn't know that Pilates ever was for us. and, you know, a woman of my body type. I never thought that I should even show up to a mat, let alone a reformer. And just seeing you come across in the ads or seeing you in taking your class, it has showed me just different that yes, we do belong. And it's like, wow. And it's the same thing that happens with dance and, you know, young dancers who just don't know. And it's like, no, honey, this can happen. This can happen. And it's like, sometimes you do, it is important to see it, to believe it. But I try not to take the negatives and make them negative, because then where's the progress? There's no progress. We can talk till we're blue in the face about, you know, how unfortunate things are, but we can also turn it and make it more fortunate. And then turn around one day like Misty Copeland and be like, hey, I'm the principal of a premium dance. Like, hello. And it's just like, it opens people's eyes to something different. And it's like, yes, this is possible. And, you know, things have changed a lot in the last year. And it's just great to see the diversity that's coming through in fitness, in wellness. You know, wellness is open for all people. You don't have to be a certain type of person. You don't have to make a certain amount of money to be well. Like, are you kidding me? Just listen, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, just figure out, you know, where you can fit in, what it's, or not where you're going to fit in, but where, or where you can access your things. Like, where do you go to get well? Like, don't think you can't go into these places or you can't access these things. You can't sign on to places like Obey and get a great workout and get some inspiration and a good pep talk, you know?
Yeah. Well, and I think this is interesting because for Becca and I both grew up as dancers. Jack was a child actress. Not really. It's a joke we make, but I think, you know, my whole life to fitness until probably 5 years ago was to get skinny, to lose weight. I'm going to weigh myself every day and I'm going to work out and I'm going to eat to be skinny and lose weight. And I do feel like the change I've seen in the fitness whole world, or just in the last 5 years, I would say, is that we are now working out, we're sweating for our brains. You know what I mean? The body, the butt, whatever shape you're trying to get, because now we are like all going after different shapes. There's not one shape that I'm SpongeBob square body and like that's my, you know, shape that I am. But it's like there's so many different versions of what a beautiful body is now that we're all coming together. And I'm like, I never think about working out like I got to work out today so that I can, you know, be this weight. I really think I got to work out today so I don't go nuts.
And that is the gospel truth. And the truth of the matter is to play off of that, people were working themselves out to that level 2 and or the size 2 and turning around and still not happy. Yep. So it's like, we have to dig deeper than this. You're in a size 2 and now you're fighting for the 0. Yeah. And then you're in the 0 and you fighting because you want to look better in this dress. It's not, those are like, you know, we were brainwashed. Keep it real. Commercialism took us over, and that was what was glorified. That was glamour, darling. And if you couldn't do it, darling, what are you doing? You know, and I'm so glad that things have changed because it's now so much more diversity. People are now literally connecting to the idea of wellness, not just size 2, you know, 105 pounds and I got to be 5, whatever, however tall you need to be like the goal. It's no longer, we're not chasing numbers anymore, which I think is, a relief.
Thank God.
Thank God. Can we talk? Thank God. It's like we're chasing comfort.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable in your skinny jeans, or do you want to, you know, get a little baggy boyfriend fit with a drop crotch? Like how we doing it? You know, it's like you really just. The goal is life is just too uncomfortable to add something on top of that. Oh no, darling, it's just too much.
Too much.
I love that. So it was really interesting. We knew you were coming on the show, and at the same time in our Facebook group, we had this post that got a ton of comments on it. And I thought it was so relative that I was like, I'm saving this and I'm going to take this to this podcast. So this is one of our members in our Facebook community. And she said, you guys, emergency, I'm getting married in 7 months and I want to lose 70 pounds. And she was very sweet. She was very realistic about it. She was like, listen, I'm getting married. This is the one time in my life. Like, I'm committed. I have 7 months. What is the best way to do this? And what's the best way to do this? And she was just asking. And then everyone went in with all of these ideas. So people were like, just eat vegetables for 7 months, do the keto diet, sauna every day, running, super heavy weights. And I listen, we all want to love our bodies and like, you know, we're all beautiful, but there are people out there that at the end of this pandemic are like, all right, cool. Enough is enough. I want to make a big change in my life and my fitness and my wellness. So what do you say to them, these people that want to make a big weight loss wellness start?
Big changes take time. You have to be patient with the process. Thing number one, look at yourself in the mirror as you are and thank that person first. Don't be trying to thank them later. Thank them now. Thank them. Look, you better thank them legs for walking you around the corner. Okay. You better thank your body for showing up. It's like blessed. And that is the person. When you have that mindset, that is the person that's going to attain those goals, because that person is not, I'm only going to be happy if. It can't be a if. It has to be today I'm happy. Boom. And I'm going to work out. Today I'm blessed and I'm going to work out. Today I'm grateful that I can move and I'm going to continue to move. So big dreams, big goals, those take time. They require consistency. This is not to throw anybody off and to discourage. This is to inspire you to get real about your dreams and do the actions it takes to achieve those dreams. For example, if Marmar wanted to be a singer, okay, now if you've taken my class, some of the notes she misses. But if I decided one day, I want to be like Beyonce, I'm not just going to style my hair like Beyonce, okay? I have to get into voice classes, okay? I got to run around those laps the way Beyonce ran around those laps, okay? I have to show up in so many different ways to achieve this big goal, and I'm going to write it down and it's going to get real for me. But if I don't show up in all of those ways, it's not going to work. So if you're trying to lose 70 pounds, you can work out until you're blue in the face. But if you don't have the wherewithal and the fortitude at the end of the day to not control yourself from binge eating, then it's not going to work, or it's going to be harder, or maybe will take longer. But if you, again, look at who's in the mirror and say, you know what, girl, I like you because you kept showing up. I like you because you got me to work and back. My kids look at me and they feel fabulous. I don't have kids, but I imagine, your kids, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like, you have to thank who you are now and then be patient with the process, right? Be aware that some weeks you're going to drop a lot of pounds, and some weeks you're going to hit that steady goal and you're going to be like, nothing's working. Why is nothing working? Because the human body fights for normalcy. It's going to fight to hold on to everything it has, because that was wellness to your body of just a few months ago before you started this big change. So it's like your body's going to go into shock, and you have to be okay with not losing some weight three weeks in a row, even though you're still killing it and showing up. But then again, you look yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what, girl, you keep doing that. You keep showing up. You keep doing your doggone thing, and don't let these numbers distract you. Just keep going and start to get really present in terms of what things feel like, right? It's to sit down, get grounded, eat, and just enjoy the taste, to take a workout and feel the hamstring lengthening, to feel those abs scooping in and up. You got to get present and very conscious with what's happening. And don't just wait for the goal to be like, oh, now I feel great. Oh, now I understand what the scoop is. You got to understand it along the way. So that's it. Wow. Big dreams take big time.
I love what you just said, that whole thing about looking in the mirror and like appreciating yourself and checking in with yourself. Because I think a lot of the time, for me, this is just my experience. If I don't feel deserving or like good enough, I'm not going to treat myself good enough. So like, I'm not going to do the thing that's good for me because I don't even feel like I'm worth it. So it's like, if you are connecting with yourself in the more grateful place, and you're going to do good things for yourself because you feel deserving of them.
And then also what you were saying about, like thinking the if, I think that we've all been in that spot in our lives.
What if people? I know.
Where it's like,
we've all been what if people.
Yeah. And it's like, and we've all been at the end when it's I'm there and I still feel like fucking garbage. Like I don't feel any better than I did when I was allegedly at my worst versus my best. If you're going into it with the mindset of chasing like some sort of happiness when it comes to your body.
Yeah. And it has to be this absolute approach. Like I am absolutely happy and it's unshakable, versus I'm going to be happy as soon as I get those shoes, honey. Ooh, when they arrive, I'm gonna be so happy. No. Or, as soon as I get the promotion at work. No, stop making your happiness so relative to what's happening around you. Start by being happy, and then do the things that that sustain happiness, check in with your joy box, plug into your outlets, make it all work, but that's you showing up. I mean, it's easier said than done, it's going to work differently for everybody. But again, you got to show up for yourself. And if that means writing things down, making a vision board, it has to occur to you first, whether it's a picture in your head, a dream, something, and then you make it real, but if that does not have that click, click, click doesn't happen, it's like, ooh, click, click, clunk. Yeah. Ooh,
bye. Marmar came into our lives at the right moment this week. We are all burnt to a crisp out, and this was so inspirational. So I'm so glad that our listeners got to enjoy you, but really this was selfishly just a private lesson for us.
Absolutely.
You can follow her at The Chocolate Princess on Instagram, but I do want to let everyone know that we've talked about Obey so many times on this podcast and our Instagrams, etc. But they are giving us a special deal, which is why Marmar is here. So you can go and sign up, and you're going to get an entire free month. Use the code LadyGang at obeyfitness.com. You get an entire free month, so you can just try it, get that consistency in, plug in your outlet. Don't go to Target and buy a TV and a pajama. Like, get focused. And the Obey Fitness app, you can get the app on your phone, on your iPad. You can even go online just on your computer. They offer more than 6,000 on-demand classes. There's daily live classes, including sculpt, strength, HIIT, yoga, Pilates, bar, meditation. There's even senior classes. My mom does. Obey not only delivers the variety of fitness content you crave, but also the results that you want to see. And it is a beautiful community. I think that's why we've had so much synergy between the two brands is that, there's a big community showing up for each other kind of aspect. So thank you for your time. I know I kept you over. You literally have to go.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nothing but love right back. Until the next time, guys.
Yes.
Bye.
See you in the box.
Yes,
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social at Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And welcome to T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio Podcast. The most fun you'll ever listen to while you're folding your clothes. Now let's get this straight. This is not your average podcast. T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio is super fun, super crazy. It's pretty much an in-your-face conversation. That's the good thing about us. We don't do interviews. We do conversations. All of my guests, all of my co-hosts, we chill. We drink, we play games, we have the song of the week, we have the creative curse word of the week, as long as you're having fun as our guest. Speaking of guests, each week I'm going to go through my whole contact list and dive head first into the world of music, gaming, exotic cars, tech, strippers probably, doctors probably strippers that are only stripping so they can pay for tuition to become a doctor. You never know. My wife is a certified bartender. She'll make you a drink while you're here. We'll get you drunk and make you play VR after. It's a lot going on. But that's what it's all about over here at T-Pain's Nappy Boy Radio Podcast. See you soon, baby!